There are many research topics available in agricultural communication. Two that come to mind are, number one, you can look at how people access food and the conversations that revolve around food at a very micro level, but then also a macro level. And then the other one that really fascinates me is how we as everyday people talk about food and how that shapes the way that we approach food and think about food. And then in turn, how companies talk about food, where you're getting your food from, how they frame certain issues with food, and then how those influence the way we think about food and our food patterns.
Agricultural communication, just like agriculture as a whole, encompasses a lot of areas, from people doing research on organic farming to large scale agriculture to food and food safety issues like we were researching, to micro industries like the beekeeping industry.
There are two answers to that question. Number one is, and it's really the reason I went into agricultural communication, is because I love food, I love words, and I love people. So everything that I touch in agricultural communication brings those three things together. So understandably, I wanted to make sure my research topic had those three elements to it. The other reason I chose my research topic is that growing up, my family was very involved with missions and then nonprofit work. And so I have always had a heart for people who are very different from me, and I have enjoyed relating to people like that and getting to know them and entering conversation with them. So when the opportunity presented itself with Abigail to work alongside her with her research and dissertation, it just made sense that I join in with that because it brought my love of food, people, and words, and then my desire to understand people who are not like me together.
My research topic, looking at how Hispanic individuals can receive information through English as a second language curricula, was driven first and foremost by my love of the Spanish language and also my experience volunteering in English as a second language programs, and just seeing how that could possibly be a catalyst for providing really relevant and information based in science to audiences that haven't heard it before.
Without a doubt, what I love the most was just talking to people and then going through their stories. Honestly, like the literature review, the writing process could sometimes bog me down in the midst of it. But the moment I open up someone's story and have a chance to highlight, circle, really get into that person's mindset and understand why that person thinks the way they do about food, that is just a joy, and that's something I love to do. So that's one of my favorite things about my research project.
I enjoyed meeting the instructors of the English as a second language programs and hearing the diversity of opinions even within the same program or the same community center, and how those instructors view the material that they teach and its likelihood of really making a difference in their students' lives, seeing those relationships that the instructors build with the students. For me, I'm not going on to graduate school or anything, but this time doing undergraduate research has been absolutely essential in how I view making decisions and also growing to understand an issue. To begin by looking at the literature and the information that's out there, formulating those questions, having a methodology to find out more. And then drawing conclusions from that, not jumping to conclusions at the beginning. And just really, I've learned a lot from this process and learned how to understand a bigger issue before making my own conclusions.
A lot of what Lisa said, this idea that you're going to really examine an issue before making a conclusion, and that you're going to process that critically, that's played a huge role in my life as something I've learned as an undergraduate researcher. And then as I've considered graduate school, this process of developing ideas about how to approach problems. So as I think about graduate school, one area that I'm very interested in is rhetoric, and the rhetoric of agriculture. And I definitely feel like my experience as an undergraduate researcher has given me a mindset of how to approach this issue of agricultural rhetoric in a way that does not jump to any conclusions, that responds to this question with humility, that says, I'm trying to understand. I don't know, but I want to process this. And then also as a writer, undergraduate research has helped me just want to get to know people and to be analytical in my writing and to be able to draw out themes in a story that might not be on the surface. It's something you're going to look for, but you're able to look at an issue and ask, what's the bigger question going on here? How do I capture not just what's on the surface, but this theme that's the undercurrent of this story? I would say don't limit yourself in any way. Don't go in thinking, this is what I'm going to research, this is all that there is, because it's not. Because you never know what opportunities will become present while you're researching and while you're developing your plan, and take what you're also interested in and run with that, and be willing to let those interests be shaped by the opportunities that are available while you're preparing your research project.
I would just say to do what you love. My research project was very strongly influenced by my passions in life, and the research in agricultural communication is so broad, and it's a field that people always are going to need to understand, what we eat, why we do what we do. So agricultural communication research has so many opportunities that you can really just do what you love and dig deep into finding out some of the whys and the hows behind that information.